welcome to the deep dive. Today we're digging into quite a compelling viewpoint.
Yes, one that maybe challenges how we think about confronting untruths.
Exactly. It's about exposing lies. We've got this text arguing it's necessary, but also really misunderstood.
Right. And I think many people listening have probably felt that tension, haven't they?
Oh, definitely. That feeling when speaking up is hard, or maybe you get pushback for it.
Mm-hmm.
So this deep dive explores a perspective that, well, it pushes back against labeling truth-telling as inherently negative. The source is a written piece reflecting on truth and deception.
And it jumps right in saying exposing lies is vital, but people often get why it's done wrong.
How so? What's the misunderstanding it points to?
Well, it suggests that when people criticize those who call out falsehoods, accusing them of just being mean or unkind.
Yeah, standard criticisms.
Right. The text argues that often shows a sort of shallow grasp of truth itself.
Okay, so let's unpack that. Why does the text argue it's actually necessary to expose lies? What's the core logic?
The fundamental idea seems to be that lies, they fester and gain power in silence.
So not speaking up is almost like letting them win.
That's the implication. There's a responsibility suggested to actively confront falsehood. Letting deception slide has real negative impacts. Silence is kind of like agreement in this view.
And it tackles those criticisms head on, doesn't it? The accusations of mockery or harshness.
It does. It basically says these criticisms miss the intent.
Okay.
It argues that putting comfort above truth can actually signal, well, a weak understanding of righteousness. Sometimes you need that directness, to really dismantle a lie, and that won't always feel gentle.
Makes sense. And uses some pretty powerful scriptural examples to back this up. Let's start with Jesus and the Pharisees. What's the takeaway there?
Yeah, that's a striking one. Jesus publicly calls them whited sepulchers.
Which is, wow, talk about direct.
Incredibly direct, a powerful image, looks good outside, but inside it's full of death and corruption. But the text stresses this wasn't malice, it wasn't cruelty, it was rooted in divine truth, and actually a call for them to repent, a harsh truth for potential healing.
Okay. Then there's Elijah and the prophets of Baal. How does that fit in? It seems different.
It does have a different flavor. Elijah uses sarcasm, he mocked them when their gods didn't show up.
Right. That feels more like mockery, maybe.
At the surface, yeah. But the text argues the purpose wasn't just ridicule for its own sake, it was strategic to expose the complete absurdity of their idolatry.
So to reveal the emptiness of their belief.
Precisely. To dramatically show the falsehood they were committed to, highlighting the folly of choosing lies.
Got it. And the third example, Paul confronting Peter.
This one's interesting because it's within the community.
Right. Paul calling out another apostle. Publicly.
Exactly. Peter was being hypocritical. His actions didn't align with the gospel message. So Paul confronts him openly.
And the text frames this not as mockery, but as
an act of love, believe it or not. And defending the gospel's integrity. It connects to that idea from 1 Corinthians that true love rejoices in the truth.
even when the truth is difficult or involves confronting someone respected.
Especially then, perhaps. It shows that upholding truth sometimes means challenging even those close to us or in authority, for the sake of the bigger picture.
So, bringing it together, the text clearly warns against silencing truth-tellers out of fear. What's the core danger there?
The danger is letting the fear of being labeled unkind or disruptive override the call to stand for truth.
So, popularity versus principle?
Kind of. The text puts it bluntly. We're not called to flatter wickedness or make peace with lies. We're called to expose them.
Quoting Ephesians there.
Yes, the primary loyalty, it argues, must be to truth, even if it ruffles feathers.
It uses that metaphor too, exposing lies as shining the light. What does that really get at?
I like that metaphor. It suggests truth acts like light. It simply reveals what's hidden in the darkness.
And if someone reacts badly,
Then the text suggests the offense taken reveals more about the deepness of the darkness being uncovered, rather than being a problem with the light or the truth itself. That's quite a perspective shift.
it really is. It leads into that key question the text poses. The question is not whether truth hurts, but whether we love truth enough to endure its sting. What's the weight of that?
That, I think, is the crux of it. It acknowledges truth can be painful for everyone involved.
Speaking it and hearing it.
Both. But it proposes that this sting, this discomfort, it can actually be the first step towards healing, towards redemption, if people are willing to face the truth and repent.
So the pain isn't pointless. It can be productive.
If we let it. if we value truth enough.
Okay, so let's try and summarize the core argument here as we wrap up. What's the main thrust?
Well, fundamentally, the text makes a strong case for a courageous, unwavering commitment to truth and integrity.
Even if it makes you unpopular.
Especially then, perhaps. It uses those biblical examples to draw a line between righteous confrontation aimed at revealing lies and prompting change and just, harmful mockery or cruelty.
A difference in intent and purpose.
Exactly. And the bottom line is that our ultimate judge isn't public opinion, but the God of truth himself. That's where accountability lies.
That's a powerful thought to leave with. So, for everyone listening, maybe reflect on a time you spoke a truth that wasn't well received or maybe held back from doing so.
Yeah, how does this perspective we've discussed maybe reshape how you see that situation now?
Something to think about. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us today.